everyone, Amanda here, thanks for joining me. So today I've got 3 different kind of ideas for little things that you could insert into journals and also use up bits and bobs, stuff in your stash. So the first one, I'm using up some of these scrapbooking papers. I bet I've had these 8 years or more, maybe. A very long time, and I've not used them, so I can use them in my journals, it's fine. So I've picked these, like they're quite textured, and that one's got like this, got embossed like shiny, and my thought was these look like Victorian wallpapers. So I'm going to make some sample books. I've got 3 different kinds to share with you. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut these into strips, and if I just cut a long strip, then the rest of the scrapbooking paper I can use on something else. Now it's quite thick, so I might not get away with more than two at a time. So let me just remind myself how wide I want them. So I've made the little sample kind of holder already, 3 1/4. So these want to be, this is how I've made them. Obviously you can make them whatever size you want, but I've made them this size so that they'll fit nicely into a journal pocket or tuck. If you make them too big, then they're not going to, you know. So just shy of 3 1/4. Alright. And then on the length, what have I done here? Let's have a look. I've done 4 1/2, so just shy of 3 1/4 and just shy of 4 1/2. That's because the little holder that I've made is 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. Well, when it's folded up. So there's my two little samples already, and then I'll do the same here. So I'm cutting 2 at once. So just under 3 1/4 by just under 4 1/2. Literally just a, you know, not everybody does 1/16 of an inch and stuff, so that's why I'm saying just under. So just put it just under. Okay. There we go. So I'm not putting too many together at once. Why are those bigger? Because I've done them 3 1/2 instead of 3 1/4. Hold on. Yeah, that just needs trimming. Don't know my own sizes. It doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter because it's meant to be a sample book, so it doesn't need to be perfect. So what I've just done, before I switched the camera on, I made this little holder. So this measures, and I've used scrap card, I've loads of it, leftovers, cut from, you know, when I've made card bases and things like that. I keep the offcuts if they're large, so I'm just using what I've got. So this measures 6 1/2 by just over 3, about 3 1/4. I think I've just cut it roughly. Now this little emblem here I've got from Graphics Fairy, this little label. You could use anything. You could just get any kind of digital image and then see how this is shaped there. Just nip the corners off. Use a small circle punch if you've got one. Nip the corners off. Just put your punch in like that and just nip the corner off to get that shape, or do it with your scissors, or cut it at an angle, use it straight, use a die. Just use what you've got. I just happen to have these already printed out, and these are from the Cottage Wallpapers. They've got some lovely printable wallpapers over there, so if you don't have scrapbooking paper, have a look on there and print some out. I didn't really want to print anything out today. I'm trying to be frugal. So then all you need to do is get these, and now a nice idea would be to cut each one 1/2 inch shorter than the other so that you can see them all, I suppose, so that it's tiered like that. Where's the other one? I'm supposed to have 4. Is it stuck? There we go. So you could do that. I can't be bothered. I'm just going to put them in like that. I can't be bothered working all them sizes out. What the heck? So yeah, I'm just going to put them in like that. Yeah, and then I'm just going to... What am I going to do? How am I going to fix these in? So, you know, well, what are they for, Amanda? Well, it's just a little bit of fun in your journal, bit of colour, a splash of whatever, and you could turn them over and journal on them. So I think what I might do have a think. You could just hold them with a paper clip. You could just hold them with a paper clip. You can go on your sewing machine and sew them, which is what I will probably do. You could put 2 little holes and attach them. And that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. I have these ideas, you see, and I don't always completely and utterly have them to full fruition before I come and share. I kind of make it up as I'm going. So let's just give this a bit of age. I've got a stamp somewhere that you could make it look like a maker's mark on the back. I'll see if I can find it. I'm just going to flick over the edge of these because I do vintage. If you don't do vintage, you know, you don't need to ink them. Okay, really quick. And obviously, you know, if you've got colours that are a bit bright and a bit too much, roll a bit of gesso over them. Get a roller out and roll a bit of gesso over them. I think I'm going to have that group. So have the green one on the top or the blue one. I think I'm going to have that one. Clashes a bit with that label, but I'm not right bothered. Yeah, I'm going to have the green one. Okay, so I will just bob them in there like that. Line them up kind of neatly. End of day, it's meant to be a little sample book. It doesn't need to be perfect. I'm going to put 2 little holes in. I'm going to use the smaller. I should really measure it. I should measure it. God, I will. To make sure that it's even each side so it doesn't look like, you know, dog's done it. Right, so if I centre that between 4, roughly, rather than having to divide measurements and get all complicated, and then I'll put a marker. I'll tell you what I'll do, I'll just go, I'll go 1 inch in from each side, so 1 inch in, that's easier, isn't it, and 1 inch in, rather than trying to think up complicated measurements. Life does not need to be that hard on a Saturday. Right, let me set my depth so that they're the same. That's a bit deep. I'm not putting grommets in, okay? I'm going to do it quite rustic, kind of. There we go. So I've got my 2 little holes, and then I'm just going to use some, this is thingamajigger. Oh, I can't think. Parcel, you know, for it's literally parcel twine or whatever you want to call it, from the parcel section. You know where you get your envelopes and your packaging. That's the word. It's packaging I can't think of the proper name. String. It's string. For goodness sake. Packaging string. Oh my gosh, my brain's, I've lost it. Now if you wanted to be really fancy, you could have, you know, put a little loop like they hang them in the shop, don't they? Or carry them round like that. In fact, that's quite a nice idea actually. See how I'm just making stuff up as I go. Now if you were really fancy as well, and I'm not, you could put a little bead on there. There's no way in this world I'm going to be able to have the hand-eye coordination to put a bead on there. So I'm just going to tie it in a knot. In a loose knot. And let's see if it'll pull through that hole. There, it's not going to pull through that hole. Okay, so a loose knot will do the trick. Okay, it's got a little bit. So I'm going to do, let me just pull it to a reasonable. There we go. That's big enough of a loop, you know, to keep it kind of in scale sort of thing. So, or obviously you can just tie it through and put it in a knot. Tie them together, yeah. Put it in a bow there. I like to make my life difficult, so yeah. I don't know if I like that now. Let me just trim that down a bit. No, no, that's alright. So that looks like it's a little sample book that you'd pick up from the wallpaper shop. And obviously, because that's nice and loose, you can turn it over and journal on the back. Alright, so that's idea one. Obviously, if you want this bit tighter, instead of doing a handle, pull the string through and tie it in a bow. Alright, that's one idea. So that's your paper. Now we're going to do ribbons, and then I've got lace. Okay, so again, I've roughly cut my things to size. So this one here, I've just cut little oddments. Again, just cut it to whatever size you want, but I wouldn't go over about 4.5, because, you know, that's roughly the kind of nice, neat size of things to go in journal pockets and stuff. So you don't really want them any bigger than 4.5 inches long, unless you want to put them in a massive pocket. And then do what you want. I'm only here to advise you and give you the bare basics of the idea. So this, to me, is like, you know, like a sample. Like, you know, they've gone to the fabric maker and, you know, they're wanting to decorate the room. So they've got a bit of fabric there for the upholstery, and maybe a bit of fabric for the curtains, and then, you know, some coordinating fabrics for the trims. Yeah? And then put it like that. Now this one I'm going to sew. So let me just, my desk's a hot mess. Put that to one side with some clips on whilst I do the next one. And what I'll do is I will just run that through my sewing machine, or just on a normal stitch, okay? And then this is a lace one. So I've got this little, so these are the labels, use anything. This is going to be a narrower one because this lace is only narrow. So I'm doing it completely by eye here. So I want to cut it about there. Get off. Okay, I just think it's something interesting to put in your journals. And it's a good way of using up your scraps. I love making faux ephemera. So, where am I? Let me ink this a bit. I don't know how long I'm going to have it, do I? So I won't ink the bottom yet. I won't ink the bottom yet because I don't know how long I need it. Let me just ink this. May as well let it just wrap around rather than cut half off and waste it. I may as well just wrap it around. Glue it on. And wrap it around. Using this dreaded PVA, better not wrinkle my paper, else I'll be cross. Right. So again, I'm just literally using what I've got and just trying to figure out ways of just making anything. You'd be surprised what you come up with if you just throw things together. Okay, now obviously, you know, you could make yourself a word on your computer. I may well do that. I may well type lace samples, and on here I might put cottage wallpapers. Yeah, something like that. Okay, I think that's really cute. Yeah, right, so let's have a look. How long? So here I've just got some offcuts of like soft, delicate lace. Let's see. Roughly, yeah, we can have it. I'll just trim a little bit off the bottom. That'll be alright. Okie dokie. Hope you're having a fab weekend. I'm managing to get a little bit of crafting in before I have to go and do grandma duty. I don't know what we're going to do today. I might do some baking. I don't know. I might just go to the park because it's quite nice and sunny. It's lovely outside. Lulling us into a false sense of security is this British weather. It's really beautiful at the moment. It'll be snowing next week. You watch. You watch. I'm telling you. You can't trust it. Can't be trusted. Can't the British weather. Right, so I'm going to put that one like that. So you can, let me just move that one down a bit. Now I don't want to be putting loads in because I don't want it too thick and bulky in my journal, but I just think that's pretty. You know, if I'm doing, well, I know what I'm doing some certain themes of stuff. I don't want to say yet because it's going to be a surprise for somebody. Okay, that's that one. Where's my scissors? Where's my scissors? There we go. Put a bit of ribbon in. Yeah. I could have done with that being a bit longer and it could have gone behind, couldn't it? Save that for something else. Let's do a longer piece. Some ribbon and a bit of lace. So I can't remember what I've said. I got inspired to do these by Lynn M. I don't know her surname, I just know her as Lynn M, and she's on the Graphics Fairy design team, same as me, and she recently did a journal with samples. I think it was a fabric one, and I thought, ooh, I could do lace and I could do wallpaper, you know, little sample books. So that's that one put together. That will get sewn. Alright, and then I've got another one here which is Snippets of Fabric. Okay, so again I'll do the same thing as this. I'll put a little topper on it and then I'll go and sew it. Okay, so I'll be back in a moment when I've done my sewing. Okay, so that's my sample books finished. So, well, how fun are these? So we've got a wallpaper sample book. Okay, I've just added a little paper clip there because it's still drying, which, you know, you can open and journal on. Great way to use up those scrapbooking papers that you're never going to use. And then this one is, you know, like a sample, maybe they're doing the room up, so it's a colour sample from a furniture maker or designer maybe, who knows. And I've just found this little stamp I've used previously and added that on the back to look like a maker's mark stamp. Okay, so that's that one. Then this one is for dressmaking, so that's lace, ribbon and more delicate lace, so that would be for dressmaking. And then we've got this one which is fabrics from my hoard, so these might be curtains. Okay, so but what fun are those? And you could obviously decorate the label more, make them look more authentic. You could put your grommets in, hang dangles off them. But I just think those are really cute. If you're doing any kind of vintage theme journal, you could just slip them in a pocket for just a little bit of touchy-feely. A little bit of also it'd be a really good way to start your colours. If you struggle with sticking to colour themes on your journals, make yourself one of these with 3 or 4 colours and then make your journal stick to it, so it's a little sample board for yourself even. And then like this, I can use this for journaling on. I think there is, so there you go. There's a little weekend project. They don't take very long and it's just using bits and bobs and scraps. You don't need to buy anything. So go and give them a try, have some fun, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!